Okay, I'm gonna run you through this simple yoga routine that I do pretty much every day and have been doing for the past 3 years. First, it's a seated toe stretch. So you're actually gonna sit on your toes, shift your weight from left to right a little bit, and just get some flexibility in all 10 toes. Then you're gonna come to a tabletop position with your hips over your knees and your shoulders over your palms. We're gonna begin a cat-cow. Inhale as you arch, exhale as you hunch. Inhale, let your belly hang and fill your belly with air. Exhale, push all your breath out and bring your navel into your spine, hunching like a scared cat, pressing your middle back into the ceiling. Last one, big inhale, tuck that chin, make a double chin. And then exhale, exhale, tuck that chin, come out of your shoulder blades. All right, now we're gonna find neutral somewhere in between the arch and the hunch. And we're gonna begin a bird dog hold. This is really to get your core ready and stable. We wanna make sure that leg is as high as the rest of our body and the arm is by the ear. Hold it for about 10 to 15 seconds and then switch sides, making sure your hip bones are square to the ground, that you're not twisting at the hips at all. And then bring that back in, and we're gonna flip it into a downward dog stretch. Pushing your hip bones up and back. We're first gonna give the calves a little stretch here, walking the heels down left and right. And then again, another toe stretch, just moving your weight from your toes back onto your heels. All right, lift the left leg really high, squeeze the left butt cheek, and then step that left leg in between your hands. Lift your hand and twist towards the left side, looking up at that hand, like you're gonna touch your chin to your shoulder. Just keep twisting at the spine, keep that back leg nice and straight. Then you can drop the back knee, bring your hands in, drop the back knee, and push your right hip bone down towards the ground. Deep hip flexor stretch. Sit the hips back, straighten the front leg, and get that deep hamstring stretch. Make sure your hands are on the outsides of your foot here. Then just drag that front foot up. I want to see a 90-degree angle in both knees and tuck your pelvis forward. Tilt your pelvis so that you're kind of tucking your butt under, and then slowly and slightly push your hips forward. You should feel a deep stretch in your deep right hip flexor. Bring your hands to the ground, right back into downward dog. Lift that same leg, that left leg, up to the sky really high and swoop it into pigeon stretch. That shin should go straight across, parallel to the front of your mat. Drop in that back leg. If it feels good, you can come down to your elbows. If not, you can stay on your palms. But we're trying to square the hips, square the shoulders, square the chest to the ground. Really trying to sit into that left hip and stretch that left glute. Take a few deep breaths here and then slowly come back up. Last downward dog on this side, left leg high. We're gonna take that into a scorpion. Bend the leg, open the hip, and here we are in this back bend. Land nice and soft. Push your hip bones, push your chest, push your belly button up to the sky. Make a big arch in your back, and then pop it right back into downward dog. Before we transition to the other leg, we're gonna rock it into upward dog, dropping the shoulders away from the ears, lengthening the spine, lengthening the torso, squeezing your buns here. Right back into our downward dog. Right leg comes up high, squeeze that right butt cheek, and then step that right leg in between your hands. Lift that right hand, spine twist. Looking up at that hand, keep twisting till it's a little uncomfortable. Bring your hands back to the inside of your foot, drop your back knee. Push your left hip bone toward the ground, get a deep left hip flexor stretch. Sit your hips back and straighten that front leg, straighten that right leg. You can flex and point your toes if you'd like to get a deeper hamstring stretch. Brace your core the entire time, you guys. Drag that front foot forward, make 90-degree angles, and then tilt those hips big time. Once you feel the tilt, you should feel the stretch right away, and then you can begin to push your hips forward just a little bit, just a little bit. Make sure you're still tilting, you're squeezing your left butt cheek hard. Bring your hands back down to the ground, right back into downward dog, and we're gonna swoop this into pigeon stretch. Straighten that back leg, bring that back knee back even more than you think, so you can really get a deep, deep hip stretch here. And if it feels good, you can come down to your elbows and just breathe, exhaling all the dirty breath out. Really feeling the stretch on the right hip, right glute. Slowly bring it back up into our final downward dog and bend the knee, open the hip, take it into that big back bend. Really get your chest up to the sky and then rock your weight forward towards your hands. Rock your weight forward and right back into downward dog. Swoop it into upward dog. Just another little back bend here. And then we're going to finish in child's pose, sitting your hips back onto your heels. Hips must touch the heels, and then you can press your chest and armpits to the ground as you're reaching your fingers forward. Then touch all 10 of your fingers together. Keep your elbows digging into the ground and just bend at the elbows a few times. See if you can touch the back of your neck with your thumbs. Get that tricep and chest stretch. Then we're just going to weave one arm under the other. Get some shoulder mobility here, laying on your ear. Your hips and butt should still be sinking down into your hips as much as possible. As much as possible, I want you to fold that body. We'll switch to the other side. Reach one hand forward, the other hand to the side. Just keep reaching those fingers. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed.